It's a lovely, lovely Saturday morning here in Mönchengladbach, and we have plenty more football coming your way. German youth style. It's Bayern Munich and Borussia Mönchengladbach here in North Rhine-Westphalia. Two of the top teams in Group C facing off in one of the last matches of this U19 Hauptliga season. Hello everyone, I'm Kai Dambach, and welcome to the Vollenplatz on Borussia Park, Platz number 10, for this big matchup between the Foals and the Stars of the South in Bayern Munich. Let's give you the quick starting lineups for these two teams, starting with Bayern Munich. Of course, their main man in goal, Leonard Prescott, will be between the pipes to get things started for the men in red. And in front of him, Matusevic, Ajayi, Schäfer, Lamba, Schmidt, Eguatu, Snip, Gashi, Odichenko, and Kojo Evora. And as for Borussia Mönchengladbach, they send out Trippel, Beiersdorf, Top Rasmussen, Nguefak, Tanver, Krasniki, Horvat, Mradian, Kukumeki, Belhassan, and Biba. So Bayern going to go from left to right to get things started, and Mönchengladbach going to go from right to left. So a throw-in one for Bayern Munich in the offensive side of the field. These two teams doing quite well. Bayern Munich and Borussia Mönchengladbach, right now, they are in the spots to make it to the next round of the competition, which would be single elimination. Once you lose, you're done. But right now, Bayern Munich holding on to that last spot. Only the top four in the group make it to the next round as the cross is taken care of. And Mönchengladbach thought that they could move forward, but our head referee calls it back. Refereeing crew today, controlled by Sven Wenzing. He's the man with the whistle. And he is helped out by Ole Richter and Jonas Siebert. Good find on the right side. Now that allows for Mönchengladbach to move down the field. Kept along the ground, and Prescott was called out. Picked up the ball with ease, but certainly not going to be an easy task for him today. Now, Mönchengladbach, they've been no worse than third place here in the Nachwuchsliga. They did lose in March against Kaiserslautern, but the only losses that they've had in this round have been to the team from Kaiserslautern. Otherwise, it's been quite well for them. And they'll finish off this campaign in the Hauptliga against Hannover 96. Meanwhile, for Bayern, in 1 week, they'll be going up against RB Leipzig, currently the #1 team in the group. Leipzig currently at 16 points. Gladbach and Kaiserslautern tied at 14. As that was not exactly a confident look, as that ball went right out, right in front of Michael Nasche. Pushed forward. Almost able to bring it down, but Would have been offside anyways, but Iguatu with some good movement early on in this contest. Lovely find and some good speed from the Gladbach captain. Kept along the ground, a chance for Gladbach right past Prescott, but he let that go past the end line. But some good team speed from Mönchengladbach here. Good find there from Krasniki. Finding Belassen. You know what's on the other side of that building right there? That would be Borussia Park, where the senior team plays. But at this age, everybody gets to play in the shadows. Only the best of the best at this age can go to the other side of the building. But one of those players who very nearly made their senior squad debut in the Champions League was actually the Bayern Munich goalkeeper Prescott. If you recall, Bayern Munich had a lot of injury issues with their goalkeepers not too long ago. And he was very nearly brought out onto the field for the Champions League, and he's called upon again, and he gets the save. It's moments like that that put him very much on the radar of the senior squad. Put his arms out as big as possible, and he used his noggin to keep it a 0-0 game. But Gladbach with some early opportunities here. Not looking too bad here at home. Trying to go along the ground, but cut away. The Foles working quite quickly here. Now into the far side. Back in midfield now, all the way back to Trippel. Forced to go with the left foot. And an awkward bounce gives Bayern a throw-in deep in the offensive side. As you see Peter Gajdarov, the head coach of Bayern Munich. Good turn and go. Too far out for Prescott to do anything, and he's going to go for the chip. And Prescott backed up just in time, recognized what was coming his way. But some lovely work, some lovely ideas from the Foles. Boy, the Foles are just running this place. See this one more time. You see Prescott falling back. recognized that he was going to go for the chip, and Prescott took care of that nice and easy. I mean, that had to be done absolutely perfectly. And Prescott knew exactly what was coming. Boy, some absolutely stout defense coming from Mönchengladbach. Get to see some of the fans happy to see the future of this team. Not quite on target on that try. Some light pressure showing from Gladbach. Now Prescott puts boot to ball. And under control by Bayern Munich. Rolled along the ground, but just too easy to take that away. Now Munich gets back on possession. But some heavy, heavy defense forces some more from Munich to come up. Out near midfield. Just not quite on target there, but still, this is absolutely lovely stuff from the Folds. Iguatu pushes it into the box. Pushed back, trying to find an opportunity to put it on frame, but not there in the end. Did what he needed to do, but didn't put it where it needed to go. So that was the first real opportunity for Bayern, as we have another issue. As our referee Venzing wants the ball back into the 6-yard box, we'll have another goal kick. And you see Iguatu right there just eyeing everybody inside that 6-yard box, waiting for his moment to strike. Lovely turn. And another whistle coming from Venzing. So that will be a free kick from right where he stands. Off the free kick going into the area. And brought down by Bayern, still on the attack. Fired towards the far post, but nobody there on the far end. And shoved off the ball. And the ref says play on. So it looks like Venzing will allow some physicality near the 18. bashed in the air, coming back down to earth. Iguatu trying to get back on possession, but taken away by Gladbach. Lovely work on defense once again. And getting involved, trying to break free on the other side until he goes down to the grass to try to get possession back. But this has been some excellent work from the Foals here in the first 14 and a half minutes. Just one real attempt for Bayern. Meanwhile, Gladbach has been running all over this place. They run this town. Now Bayern has been able to brave the storm as Donfa gets taken down from behind. See, it's rather windy here in Gladbach. See the flags out behind the field, waving in the wind. And plenty of pollen as well. As that try near the far post, not a bad idea, just can't get it on target. Krasniki getting involved. So you see one tumbling as Prescott's tried to stay on his toes. And he was very fortunate for the woodwork that it was his friend here today. And this extra pressure seems to really be getting to Bayern's heads now. Forced to go back to Schmid. Now the Foals try to back away. Now they pounce once more. And gets the ball back. Iguatu wanted a foul, but looks like this ref wants to keep the physicality up, even away from the 18. All the way to Matuljevic. And now Bayern can have a moment to breathe as they bring the ball forward. Blasted towards the 18. But yet again, Mönchengladbach just a step quicker, an inch higher on jumps. Yet again, Gladbach just cutting it out before anything could develop. And they are just flying down to the other side of the pitch. Now, Bayern did manage to get back on defense. And Belassen does commit the foul, so that will end the chance for the men in whites. But every single time that ball is in the air, it just feels like it's going directly to a foul, even if it's kicked by a Bayern player. It's almost as if Gladbach just knows exactly where that ball is going to be at all times. That right there was just really the lone mistake for Gladbach, as Triple was just forced to just push it away. even though he had plenty of time. Now at midfield. Bayern trying to move ahead, but Mönchengladbach denies them the opportunity. Ajayi gets us back underway. Launched ahead. Brought down by Ajayi, who takes a tumble. Staying with the men in red for the moment, but taken away by Gladbach once more. No danger to the goal, no danger to Trippel. And now taken away, and here comes Top Rasmussen with a full head of steam, but that pass off his left foot left much to be desired. Well behind the winger. Just didn't get the right pass off there. But everybody is willing to just go full steam ahead. And now everybody has to fall back for Gladbach. Bayern on the move. Trying to find Eguatu, but not quite there on the pass. So some back and forth action here in Gladbach. Now pushed all the way back to Prescott. And they'll try to move forward again. This time, Gladbach not bringing the pressure forward. So a little bit more time for Bayern to move ahead easily. Munich with the throw in, trying to go into the 18. And popped in the air. Lovely attempt, but not on target. Great try there from Roy Snip. Had the right decision, had the right idea. But it's always a challenge with the ball coming down from so high up. But now Munich looks to be the team on the front foot. Trying again, Eguatu. Boy, they have been going to Eguatu so much here. And as they should, he's had 9 goals already this season. He's been bouncing between the U17 and U19. He's had 7 goals at the U19 level. Battle for possession at the near side. And that forces Venzing to blow the whistle. But some heavy work there. Right in front of the fans. All the way back to Triple. And he sends it away from goal. And under control by Munich now. Mönchengladbach just going to back away. But a big wall of midfielders right at midfield. And a miscue there for Bayern. Gosh, he thought that he could move forward, but the passer thought he was going to stay back. Don't worry, happens. How do you respond from your mistakes? That's the most important thing here. And Bayern's defense comes to the rescue as Lamba just kept that ball away from Muradian. So Gladbach was just absolutely dominant in the first 20 minutes. But Munich has woken up. And now they're applying some pressure. Lovely stuff from Olichenko. But an awkward pass from Roy Snip went right to the Gladbach bench. But just those little things, those little chips away at momentum can certainly build up. But you just have to keep adding every small victory until you can get a goal. Nifty work from Bellassen, and he draws the foul just outside the circle. Gladbach had a nice start, but Munich has been very worthy opponents here in the past 10 minutes. But now Gladbach back on the move near the 18. Kept along the ground. And Bayern able to clear it away. Headed back to Trippel, who picks it up off the ground. And now we get to see Bayern moving in, applying the press. So let's see what Mönchengladbach does when they're backed up against their own end line. Boy, Eguatu working hard, both on offense and defense. He has been absolutely everywhere for Bayern, especially in that attacking half. Lovely sliding tackle. And then picks up the foul. Just some incredible work from Muradian. Right there, came in at the perfect time. Took down Matosevic. And then got clipped by Lambe. But some fantastic stuff from Muradian. Willing to put his body on the line for his team. And how's about a tightrope act as well? Or are we watching a football match, or are we watching the next Cirque du Soleil performer? Muradian takes possession. Tried to find his man who was streaking near the corner flag. Instead, he finds the Bayern substitutes. "33rd minutes here in Mönchengladbach. Still no goals in this contest. Munich should be feeling quite homesick right now. This is their third straight away game. Haven't played at home in over a month, actually. Last time they were in Bavaria, they defeated Kaiserslautern 3-2. But they lost away in Hanover, only 21st of March, and then defeated Berliner AK 3-0 in the nation's capital. But they'll end the season next week at home against Leipzig. So everybody wearing red certainly got to know a few things about each other over the past month. And taken away at midfield by Mönchengladbach. Pushed ahead near the 18. Bibba trying to go past his man, now forced to go back. M'gladbach now back to the halfway line. Maradian tries to find a man in the box, brought down. Lovely attempts, but right at Prescott. Danfa with the incredible acrobatics. And had some power behind that. But Prescott was in the right place at the right time. So good work all around by both Danfa and Prescott. Now Snip sends it ahead, finds Egwatu. Waits for his friends to come up from behind. Matosevic tried to keep possession, but lost it in the end. Now here comes Danfa along the ground, and here come the Foals leading the charge. Danfa right there, but taken out right before the attempts. Might not have counted anyways, it might have been offside. But either way, some heads-up defense. So officially offside. But you have to watch this again from Lamb. He was initially beaten, but then came right back. And with the studs of his left foot, prevented that opportunity from going anywhere. So a great recovery from Bayern's number 5. Flag went up very late there, but Bibba is called for offside. Wanted to wait until he got his foot on the ball. Now some green grass, plenty of green grass in front, into the 18, tries to fire it on target, and not quite there at the end on the other side of that pass. Egwatu hit the post with his body instead of the ball. But some lovely work there. Staying on his feet. And then Ajay with some good ideas. Egwatu is right there, but just couldn't put his head on the ball. And now Bayern looking like the stronger of the two teams out there on the field right now. Gets the fortunate bounce and still moving forward. Flag stays down for the moment, chipped right over. But just off target. Prescott was absolutely beaten. And some lovely work there going to Danfa. Just took it first time, but couldn't sneak it inside that post. And so this Bayern back line has not been on their top game as Kojo Evora tries to keep it in play, and Triple grabs the ball out of the air. 5 minutes remaining in this first half, still no goals, but not for a lack of trying by either side. But Gladbach should be a little bit more disappointed that they haven't put anything in the back of the net quite yet. They've had the majority of opportunities as he takes a tumble and is able to get back to his feet though. Ajay trying to make the magic happen from outside and taken away by Triple. Lovely reactions from Gladbach's number one. Boy, we need to see that save again from Triple. Ajay with the good cross. Kojo Evora with the header inside of the penalty spot. And that forced Triple to just go on reactions. And Triple worked perfectly. That was just barely 6 yards out, but Munich still on the move until Gladbach cuts out that chance. Launched on targets, but just a little bit too much power. So Triple facing the eye of the storm now. But the goalkeeper still looking confident that he can keep his team on his shoulders. Now Danfa losing the ball just outside the 18. And Prescott has to just put boot to ball and just fire it away. Benzing checking on his watch. We have just over 2 minutes left here in the first half. Rolled along the ground. Now to the far side, plenty of foals available in the box. And bounced just over the top of Danfa. Boy, he has been a workhorse on that side of the pitch. Just bounced right behind him. So both teams with some good ideas, some good moves. And it forced both goalkeepers into some uncomfortable positions. But both number ones, Prescott and Triple, have been out there and they have certainly saved both sides bacon already. And taken away by Munich and taken down in the box. It draws a whistle and it draws a penalty. Wolgashi with the takeaway just outside the 18. Trying to find his way into a one-on-one chance against Triple. And had a face full of grass. right there as Top Rasmussen was dragged to that near post, but he kept his right foot back, and that took Gashi down to the ground. So right before halftime, Munich has their absolute best chance of the day. Iguatu is on his knees as Gashi is ready to go to put his team on top. Before we go to the locker rooms, Gashi versus Triple. Gashi wins the battle, and Bayern Munich leads here in Mönchengladbach from the 11-meter spots. Gashi took that penalty as calmly as you possibly can. He knew exactly where he was going to put that ball. Even when the whistle blew, he knew exactly what he wanted to do with that shot. That was probably his intention in regular play, just to put it in that area right there, and Triple has been beaten. So the first goal of the day goes to Bayern Munich here on the road. As we have hit the second minute of added time here at the end of the first half. But a fall from Ajayi gives Gladbach a chance to tie it up. And Danfa wants that header back. He's been on the receiving end of some lovely passes. But with the defender in his face, he just couldn't get the right header. And Leonard Prescott tells everybody in red to move forward. Now on the far side. Still not exactly sure how much added time we have here in the first half. But Gladbach working as if they are out of time, and it certainly feels like it after giving up that penalty. And we've got the whistle for halftime. Vest done. Danfa is about to get us back underway, and here we go. Even the PA announcer is just like, oh boy. That was a tad unnecessary. So we'll see how the ball rolls on this near side of the pitch as compared to the far side. I mean, you'd imagine that the amount of water used would be the same like throughout the middle of the pitch, but I don't know. That just went on for an extra 5 minutes. So hopefully there won't be any puddling or any issues with ground passes along that near side. But only time will tell. Schaefer elects to just go up above. And it looks like the ball is rolling just fine along the near side of the pitch. So with that concern out of the way, now we have to wonder if everybody will be able to stay upright when we go to that part of the grass. Oop. And a miscue there from Menasha. I mean, he just rolled it back thinking that it was going to be a throw-in closer to him, but no harm intended by the Gladbach trainer. As the cross goes into the box, and Triple was beaten, didn't get his fist on the ball. And Kojo Evora is down on the ground. So Kojo Evora got knocked in the back of the head by Triple. Triple was going for the punch. but he got the back of his head instead of the ball. And Kojovor looks to be A-okay. So now back underway. Into the center circle now, all the way back to Prescott. Puts boot to ball to the other side of the playing surface. Now here comes Ajayi. His defender slipped. And the header right at triple. Bayern Munich flying fast and furious in the first 3 minutes of this second half. And guess who was on the other side of that cross? Of course, none other than Egwatu. M'gladbach able to move forward. Kokumeki. Kept along the ground. Krasniki pushes it into the 18 and taken away by Munich. Now Egwatu working against Muradian. And Egwatu hits the deck, and that will be a free kick for Munich. And a yellow card shown. First card of the day shown to Muradian. So now plenty of options in the box for Munich as Egwatu gets back to his feet. So Schmid looks like he will be the one to take this free kick a few yards away from the corner flag. Schmid looks to be ready to go. Just one man on the wall for Gladbach. Schmid keeps it along the ground. And Danfa cuts in front of that pass. Fired ahead. And Ajayi manages to get on the ball. Sends it forward with the left foot. And staying with Gladbach, Horvat keeps it in play. All the way back to Trippel. And the slow build-up allows for some extra players from Munich to come up, including Ajayi. Fired ahead. And Prescott comes right in front of Kokumeki. All the way back to Trippel now, Bayersdorf. Belassen. Keeps his head up. But Munich intercepts that pass. Just kept inside the boundaries. Now Krasniki. Over to Kokumeki. Kokumeki with the left foot, trying to find the cross. Falls down to Biba. Near the corner of the 18. Radian pushes it back. Down the left wing, now blasted in the air. And just a hair too far to bring that down. So Munich with a good start, but Gladbach with more possession here in the second half. Bayern still up a goal, and that's thanks to Gashi's penalty just before halftime from this spot, actually. Good idea is now good chance here. Kokumeki, but just couldn't get a good shot off. Schaefer came up and deflected it, and it lost all its power as it went to Prescott. Now near the center circle. Snip. Schaefer. Lamb. Munich just going all the way back to Prescott. Still with the men from Munich. In the attacking half, Schaefer with the left-footed attempt trying to find Matošević. But the offside flag was raised, so the ball will go back to Mönchengladbach. Kept along the ground, but shoved away. Schaefer, the Bayern captain, keeps Danfa at bay. Munich wanted a handball, but not going to get it this time, as Eguatu nearly takes the ball away from Trippel, but Trippel slid in and fired the ball far away from goal. Now on the far side. Tried to find Kojo Evora until it's cut away by the Gladbach defense. But now he gets it back just outside the 18. Lifted into the penalty area, and Trippel leaps up and grabs the cross. 10 minutes into the second half, and Munich is certainly with the momentum, but a good find now into the area. And Bibba couldn't find his way through. Tried to find Danfa. Now Kojo Evora couldn't find the ball out of the air. And now the Foles will take possession. Beiersdorf sends it forward, Kokumeki. Belassen. Now Horvath back to Belassen. Now just in front of the Gladbach bench. Bibba keeps it along the ground, just didn't get the right touch. Still with the Foles though, trying down that left side one more time. Into the 18 they go, near the end line, and just too far trying to find Dunphy once more. But an unforced error from Munich gives the ball back to the Foles. Here they come once more. Kokumeki with an opportunity, tries to find a man with his right foot, and it's bouncing, and it's taken by Prescott off the bounce. Well, Prescott lost it for a split second. Boy, Dunphy has been so critical for Mönchengladbach. Most every attack has included him, especially at the end. I mean, he's done everything right, but he just can't find a way past Prescott. It's very, very difficult for anybody to do that, as the header from Kojo Evora went off targets, went right into the dirt and bounced over the bar. Now into the 18 on the other side, and Prescott forced to get the first save, but the rebound is put into the back of the nets. And that ties the game up at 1. Prescott had been called upon over and over in the first half. Made his first big save of the second half, but the ball fell right to the forward, who was left all alone and had the right half of the goal all to himself. And he ties it up here in Gladbach. Well, that was certainly coming at some points for the Foles. Bibbo with the good chance, but Kokumeki with the finish. Shows off some interesting dance moves. I don't know if they learned that in the Nordics. But the man from Finland gets the finish, and we are tied up at 1. I mean, Gladbach had been moving much easier, much more freely as compared to Munich. And it was just a matter of time before they were going to find a way past Prescott. So let's see what Munich does in response. 30 minutes remaining here in Gladbach. As a cross right there, right past Trippel. And how's about that for a response right on cue from the substitute, Oluwase Wilson. I mean, he can't believe it. He's like, hey, where did that cross come from? He is absolutely loving it. The biggest smile here in Mönchengladbach belongs to Wilson. He's still loving it. He's absolutely enthralled. He's loving life. So watch this again from Ajayi. I mean, he's had some very lovely crosses. And sooner or later, someone was going to put that on targets. Needed the substitute to get back in the lead. And the men from Munich go back on top, thanks to that finish from Wilson. So now let's see what Mönchengladbach can do in retaliation. Finding some space down the far side, trying to go past Lam. And pushed out behind the end line. That will be a corner kick for the Foles. So we've gotten a man down for Munich, and it looks like the medical staff is being called out onto the field. Can't quite tell who it is from this angle. Now I can't Olichenko. Just getting some extra looks from the medical staff. And the staff gives the thumbs up as Olichenko comes off the field. We'll have to wait and see if there's another substitution for Bayern. And here comes the fresh face for Bayern Munich. That's Rafael Pavlic coming on for Olichenko. Still no substitutions made for Mönchengladbach. And the corner went over everybody's heads, so that will be a goal kick to the Bavarians. Schäfer gets us back underway here in Gladbach. And Prescott bangs it ahead. Jai waits for a friend to get open. Elects to go back near the halfway line. Gashi goes all the way back to Prescott's. But Denfa always on the prowl looking for the ball. Now Schäfer, a lovely tackle. Taken down by another foul as the referee just makes certain that everything's done properly. Sven Wenzing hasn't needed his whistle all that much. Just one card so far. It's been a fairly clean game. Nobody getting too emotional, nobody ready to throw hands out there. Danfa trying to get past the substitutes, but Pavlic just that much bigger and quicker. Beiersdorf gets us back underway. Going back to Top Rasmussen. Muradian. Ball still on that far side, now lifted over to Beiersdorf. Munich trying to creep forward, apply some more pressure in Gladbach's defensive zone. But the Foles break it, going down the right alley. On the far side. Into the attacking zone now, Bayern, here they come. Matošević tries a cross into the box, but Beiersdorf was right there. Now some opportunities showing themselves to Mönchengladbach. Drifting over. Kokumeki brings it down, but right to Ilgashi. Prescott with the right foot. And brought down inside the center circle. Kokumeki wanted that ball in his direction. Had plenty of green grass in front of him down the right side. Now just too much on that pass to Kojo Iwora. So the ball going back and forth between the two ends. A little under 25 minutes remaining here in Gladbach. Belassen tries to find a cross, tried to find Danfa, but Prescott came right in. Couldn't handle it with the hands. But still, Bayern's number one looking very confident. Won't come away with the clean sheets, but still has been a force to be reckoned with in between the pipes. Now Belassen. To the right side, Kokumeki. Cross brought down. Just outside the 18. Plenty of options available. Brought down, tried to turn. Takes the shots. And Prescott let it go. And he was fortunate that it didn't go into the corner. But it looks like it will be a corner kick for Mönchengladbach. Some good turns there from Kokumeki. Recognized that the shot needed to come. Short corner as Belassen came up. Bouncing around inside the 18. And now Munich with a chance to break free down the other side. Kojo Iwora with some space. He's got a friend to his right. Kojo Iwora still with the ball and can't get the shot past Trippel. Just managed to keep it a 2-1 game with his right arm. But a good sprint from Kojo Iwora. Boy, the back line from Mönchengladbach looks to be running out of gas. As Kojo Iwora very nearly made it a 3-1 contest. But Trippel with his right arm extended just kept it out. And that's why you make yourself as big as possible. Still 2-1, but Bayern with the corner. Near post try, and pushed behind the end line. We'll have another one from the same spots. So we have a few issues inside the 18 as Sven Venzing, our referee, wants to come in and make certain that nobody's doing anything illegal. Talking with Trippel, the goalkeeper. Don't want you to do anything that you'll regret. Seems to be his mantra here. Second chance, Trippel forced to go up in the air and pushes it over the bar, and we'll have another corner, the third straight corner for Bayern. Good idea from Trippel just to push it over the bar. Here comes a third straight corner. Sent into the air. Still controlled by Bayern. Into the 18 once more. Lamb gets taken down from behind, but behind the end line, so it will be a goal kick for Gladbach, and then another whistle, so it will be another stoppage of play, and that will allow for Gladbach to send on a substitution. So Kokumeki, the lone goal scorer for Gladbach, comes off the field. And that will draw a round of applause from the fans here. So the first substitution for Mönchengladbach. Belassen. Not quite on target with that pass, but still Gladbach manages to keep it. Spajic, the substitute, kept things going, but the flag is raised. So stop the possession for the Foals. See Schäfer waving for the flag, but still running back on defense. And I really like to see that. I really, really don't like it when I see players just scream for offside and just stop and scream. That really drives me up a wall. Because if you don't hear the whistle, that means that play is still going on. You play to the whistle. But Schäfer did exactly what was needed. He kept playing. So I tip my hat to you there, Bayern captain. Some lovely speed from Danfa. Keeps the possession going. Now near the 18. Nguafak. Now down the far side. Mönchengladbach needs another goal here, but unable to do it on that trip to the box. Still with the Foals, however. Good work from Belassen. Gets knocked from behind by Lam, but still with the Foals. Into the 18. But sniped out by Bayern. Now free flowing. Mönchengladbach slow to get back. Wilson into the 18. And he was looking for Kojo Evora. But from the other side now, Kojo Evora brings it down from across from the other side. Ball popped in the air. Brought down, chance, and stopped by Trippel. Still the danger present, but Gladbach able to just force the ball away. For the moment, just a quick second to breathe, and Bayern is back on the attack until Ajayi's cross went too far. Watch this again one more time from Gashi. If that had just a hair more power, that would have definitely beaten Trippel. But Bayern Munich in control here in the second half. And with the man down for Munich, that allows for everybody to take a quick break and a quick drink for the outfielders. Looks like Mönchengladbach is ready to send on another substitution. And Lamb gets back to his feet. Needed some help from the referee as he comes off the pitch. Just going to get some extra looks from the trainer. It looks like he'll be A-okay to continue. So back underway here in Gladbach. Substitution upcoming for the Foals. Let's see what they can do before they bring out the new man. Streaking down the far side and taken up behind the end line, we'll have a corner kick for Borussia M'gladbach. And a yellow card is shown to Leonard Prescott. Might have said something that the referee did not like. I mean, other than that, I don't see where the yellow card could have come from. So now we have the substitution for Gladbach. You hear that from the PA announcer. So potentially time wasting, that might be the other issue. So corner goes in, Prescott grabs it out of the air, no problems. And bangs it forward. Wilson unable to keep the ball inside the boundaries. So it will it will go to the Foals, excuse me. Down a goal with just over 11 minutes left. The Foals need to turn it on the other side of the field. Well, two options into the 18 now. And plenty more coming up right there, right now from Danfa. Well, he had been trying all day long to get into the back of the nets. And he finds it. Just over 10 minutes left, and Danfa gets his goal. A much-deserved chance, a much-deserved finish for Mönchengladbach's number 7. Everybody lost their eyes on number 7. Even Leonard Prescott, the Bayern goalkeeper, by the time he turned his head and realized Danfa was there, it was too late. Just some excellent awareness from Danfa. Knew that nobody was going to go in that direction, and Danfa was just waiting near that far post. And with the final touch, brings Gladbach level with Munich. So final 10 minutes here in Gladbach. Both sides with 2 goals. So that will make things very, very interesting. When it comes to the group standings, Leipzig coming into the weekend leading the group with 16 points. Gladbach right behind them with just a 2-point deficit. And Danfa tried to stretch out Prescott. And Gladbach just stretching out Munich in their defense. So again, Leipzig leading the group with 16 points. Bayern right behind Gladbach with 13. And they're in that last spot that would send them to the elimination round. Only Hannover is within any sort of shouting distance. Hannover with 11 points here in the Hauptliga. And if you are in 5th, you will not be moving on to the next round. The final determining spots will be decided next weekend. I mean, we have had a whole lot of wild and crazy things happening here in the U19 leagues as Munich gets ready to send on 2 more substitutes. And here they come onto the pitch. Some teams have already clinched their spots into the next round. If Gladbach can find one more goal, that should be enough to clinch a spot in the elimination round, as we have another issue as looks like Lam is down on the ground inside the center circle. So the staff will have to come out and check on him. So just looking around in the other groups, Leverkusen confirmed to go to the elimination rounds, as well as Paderborn, that's in Group A. In Group B, Wolfsburg going to make it to the next round. That's guaranteed. And tomorrow we have the U19 version of the Revier Derby, Dortmund Schalke. Haven't seen that from the seniors in quite some time. So the U19s will be going at it. That will be a very interesting watch if you're able to. And that will be very important for Dortmund, especially as they're in the 5th place spot. Schalke in 2nd with 13. Dortmund just 3 points behind them. In Group D, the defending champions, Cologne, guaranteed to go through, as well as Cottbus and Bochum. So a lot of competition for that final spot between Stuttgart Ulm and Hamburger Sportverein. So Lamba is back to his feet, and he will head off the pitch. So back underway, Schäfer tries to move it ahead. Ajayi now. Just about 5 minutes left here in Gladbach. Next goal will be the winner. On the near side, Wilson goes right at goal, and triple was needed. And he pushes it behind the line. Will be a corner for Bayern. Boy, Wilson has been phenomenal coming off the bench today. Just a little bit too much curve on that shot, but not a bad idea coming off the foot. So plenty up front for Bayern for this corner, looking to take 3 points back home. Launched into the area, headed down by the Gladbach defense, but not out of the danger quite yet. Battle for possession still, and a foul committed there by Ajayi gives the ball to the Foles. And taken down right at the halfway line. And a yellow card is shown. Rafael Pavlic guilty of the foul. Gladbach with 2 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss here at home. Same record on the road, but performing much better at home, outscoring their opponents 10-4 on the season here at home. Meanwhile, for Bayern, they've only won and lost while away from home, but just one win. They've been outscored while away from Munich, 9-8 overall, averaging less than 1 point per game. A far cry from where they are when they play at home, averaging 2.5 points per game. As guess who tries again. 2 minutes remaining here in Mönchengladbach, and it's all hands on deck for the Munich defense. Top Rasmussen falls back. He was gripping at his left leg. M'gladbach sends it over. Belassen. Back to M'gladbach. Now on the far side, trying to find an alley for a cross. And pushed away by Munich, but taken back by Mönchengladbach. Still working down that left wing. And deflected behind the line. It will be a corner to the Foles. They'll be virtually guaranteed to make it to the final round of the competition if they score a goal right here. Big moment for the Foles. Here in the final minutes of the 90. Brought down by Munich as the short cross had no chance of going into the nets. Now Wilson with a big full head of steam, but unable to keep the ball inside the lines. So the ball will go back to the Foles. Last 5 seconds of the 90 minutes ticking away. Both sides trying to find the winner. 5 minutes of added time here in the second half. 5 minutes for someone to be the hero. Well, the Munich bench is just screaming. Not quite sure what they were yelling about, possibly a player out of position. Now here come the Foles. M'gladbach. Now to the far side. Gladbach has been very comfortable trying to make some moves on the left wing. Spahic sends it over into the area, goes, but just too tall for the forward. Good tackle, but just could not keep it inside the lines. Looked like it just stayed in from this angle, but you had to blow the whistle if you're Sven Venzing. It was too close to call, really, but had to make the decision. But the Foles just keep moving forward. And the referee just telling the injured Fole, that's Nico Horvat, telling him, get up or get off the field. decides to stay on the field. And now the whistles keep coming here in the last few minutes of the game. 2 minutes left in stoppage time. Fire down the left side. Just manages to keep it in Perret. Can Gladbach work together to find the winner? Less than 90 seconds to go here in Gladbach. Kept along the ground, lovely move, lovely pass, and Goifak into the 18. Can't get the shot off. Krasniki tried, can't get it in the right direction. Krasniki again. Now Goifak. Pushed into the air, back down to earth in the 18, and backed away. Goifak one more time. Just lifted over everybody, trying to go past Prescott, off the post! Oh, that was a split second away from being the winner. And Donfa just falls to his knees, can't believe it, but he has to get back up, and he does. This game is not over yet, 30 seconds remaining. Lovely work from Donfa in the right spots at the right time, and did the right shots, did the right thing, but didn't get the right bounce. Now Prescott moves ahead. Final seconds ticking away. Can Munich steal 3 points here? And Trippel finishes it off. Second chance goes wide. And that is it. A wild and crazy finish here in Mönchengladbach, as both teams will take a point from this result. Absolutely incredible here in Gladbach. Both teams absolutely exhausted. Neither side will be happy that they didn't take 3 points away. But my goodness, everybody who came here today certainly got their money's worth. So many chances, plenty of goals, but it ends at 2 goals apiece. Gashi finished off the first half with a shot from the penalty spots. And then Kokumeki in the 59th minute. 2 minutes later, Wilson came off the bench and finished one past Trippel. And then with 10 minutes to go, Donfa with the good move, the good ideas to tie it up, but just couldn't win it in the end. But certainly plenty for the Mönchengladbach coaching staff to be thankful for, as their number 7 has been absolutely phenomenal here today. So 1 point to Gladbach, 1 point to Munich. Still plenty to decide on the final match day next week. Be sure to tune in next week as we decide who will be going to the elimination round and who will be watching from their couch. Still plenty of exciting stuff here in the Youth Bundesliga here in Germany. So one final time, Mönchengladbach 2, Bayern Munich 2, your final here in North Rhine-Westphalia. Hope you had as much fun as we did, bringing you more U19 action I'm Kai Dahlbach signing off from Mönchengladbach. A wild, crazy day here in Mönchengladbach.